Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Technogate 1999 game. We are playing today. We're continuing on after an event that kind of happened where the heroes had gone into the dreaming. They were working on trying to shut down a node that's powering a shield. Basically, they've been going to different realms to shut down these power nodes that are powering a shield around Altered Earth. So our current troop right now had just got done being inside of the dreaming where they had met a memory of sorts of Tycho's father, the one that they are currently trying to save. This memory informed Tycho that it was his father that had developed and put this shield up, and that it is protecting and stopping Control from gaining access to weapons that could possibly destroy the universe. Um, so the team has come back, stated that they were unable to shut down that node, and have now gathered at Phaedra's house. So let's go ahead and just kind of start off here with a little bit of round of introductions. So I'm your storyteller, Frozen Fallout. And let's go ahead and start off with Phaedra. Tell us a little bit about you, and a little bit about your character, and a little bit about what they look like, as well as what your house looks like.
Sweet. So Phaedra is a 27-year-old black female with, she usually wears a white blouse, black slacks, a lab coat. She's originally from Las Vegas, where she lived with her single mom, who was the stripper. She was murdered when she was younger. She followed her mom's murderer up to Wisconsin. That's how she got involved with the Technogate, and eventually was able to get her revenge on Muddin. Yeah, my apartment is kind of cracked. It is like on the northern side of Madison, frequented by a bunch of hobos and myself. But that's Phaedra.
I'm not sure what is happening.
I have no clue. Is Josh okay? Kinda.
Okay, sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what happened where it just stopped being able to hear me. So Tycho, tell me a little bit about your character and what he looks like.
Short blonde hair. He grew up in Madison here at the Construct. His father was the legendary adventurer Buck Samsonite, and his mother is Elizabeth Vance, who was in charge of and is currently in charge of the Construct Research and Execution Department. So he was awakened quite young, technocracy. When he was 18, went on a little adventure with some werewolves that he encountered, and that kind of ended in tragedy. He recently, a couple years, and his mom got him a job at the Construct, and they put him on Technogate 42, where he.
I'm sorry, I think you cut out there at the end.
He's on Technogate Technogate Team 42 now.
All right, and then Malachi, tell me a little bit about your character and what does he look like?
Yeah, Malachi is a 6 foot tall Caucasian male, wears blue jeans and a shirt. He was born into a military family, traveled around as both parents served, enlisted at 18 with the Air Force. At the end of those 4 years, he was noticed by the Technocracy and for his proficiency with firearms and skills understanding power systems. So then he signed up for a second term with Technocracy. Some point during that run, after a year or two, he made some friends that he wasn't supposed to, unbeknownst to him. And then after the fallout, he got laterally promoted, side moded, over to be security for TG42, and he is currently spending his time making sure that the team is safe as he awaits the end of his second enlistment.
Awesome. And Robert, tell us a little bit about your character and what he looks like.
Robert is a very average, unassuming, not very noticeable guy. Always found in a just suit and tie with his briefcase, glasses, kind of average height around 5'10". Average build, just all around average. Very good at what he did with psychiatry. He was kind of on the periphery of the Technocracy, assisting people that kind of had some issues with some of the things they experienced along the way. Got brought into the group to kind of fill his slot and ended up kind of having his mind blown away and is currently kind of walking that fine line of falling into it a little too much or being able to kind of maintain that. But otherwise, not too much on his backstory otherwise, I guess. He was kind of just your average guy until he fell into the fold here, and things have kind of exploded since then.
Awesome. All right, so we start off in Phaedra's trashed little apartment. It is an apartment, right, or is it a house?
It's an apartment.
It's an apartment in like a like building complex downtown. What street?
Let's say
Thought it was North Side. You said North Side.
yeah, it was North Side. Let's say Aberg in commercial, like that area.
Okay, yeah, so like the commercial area, one of those apartment complexes. Awesome. So yeah, you've got like little 1 bedroom, and it's trashed. There's probably the smell of a old wet dog that's been in here recently. Um, it's got it's got all the makings of a. The reason for the wet dog, by the way, if you're wondering, is because there's a little werewolf that sometimes gets to make his home in Phaedra's. He is not here currently. He doesn't always come here, but he likes to stay more in Pangea. In any case,
Is his name Brooklyn?
Brooklyn. Yep.
I remember things.
Yeah. So you guys are chilling out. You've got the whole conspiracy board up and running, and talking about what your next move is going to be. So I'll kind of just open the floor to you guys then.
I'm going to start with my standard walk around and just glance out the windows, doing seeing if people are paying attention. Always a touch paranoid.
I'm gonna start shuffling some of the newspapers and clippings and stuff from the floor into a nice pile so I can sit on it.
Do we still have the kind of non-detection spell on us from the general?
I made one
Yes.
for my house.
And the house also has one.
Okay.
Doesn't stop laser mics. Actually, it potentially could stop laser mics.
Yeah,
A little bit of forces on the windows. So I see us having two things here. We either keep the shield up or we drop it. And if we keep it up, we make sure that those nukes stay locked away. And if we drop it, we get Tycho gets his dad back, possibly. And so I'm not sure if anybody's leaning any particular direction there.
Well, I mean, I would like to see my dad again. I'm sure my mom would too. But it sounds like, he locked that place away for a reason.
Yeah, and he was very adamant that he knew how it was going to be through the future. But that was an old recording. That was a glimmer of him at the time, and the message that the distress call that was received would be very complicated to fake, is my understanding. And so maybe things are different. Like he's now being like, "Hey, things are different now. Come get me."
I think the easiest solution to all of this is if we can find a way to immediately destroy or disable those nukes as soon as the shield goes down. Because as long as they're gone, it doesn't matter if it fails down.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that takes me to the how are we going to handle taking the shield down? And yes, we need to get rid of the nukes. Option one, this is pretty. I'm just throwing it out there because it's an option. We set them off in the way that they were originally going to go off, which would destroy Alter Earth, and that would be, it's an option. It would make the nukes not be, around anymore. We also
Kill Buck Sampson and the entire planet.
well,
And us as well, because they're like 10
Well-
times stronger than they should be. So like everything in that area is gone.
we
Well,
could.
okay, so first thing, Buck Samsonite is already dead. Effective. The possibility that he is alive still there is kind of remote. And there are only two real entities on that planet, if my father is alive. It's him and that Mage. Everybody else on that planet is made of spirit stuff. So
Fair point.
I think that plan could possibly work. It would basically go, we drop the shield, detonate the nukes, and then turn the shield back up. Theoretically, that would work.
We also could drop the shield, land next to your dad, get him on the ship, launch the nukes, fly off in the ship. But we would have to do that before Control is able to get whoever else they have that's gonna make a play for these nukes once the shield's dropped. We have to be faster than them. If we could get a message to your dad to start disabling. Oh, there was another option. That's we take the nukes for ourselves. We can hold everybody hostage and just be like, everybody calm the heck down. Or we'll nuke you. Have you seen The Rock? It's a movie that came out in 1996.
That was very recently.
Yeah, that's why it's fresh in my mind. And totally not a movie that I memorized every line of in my youth. But he takes the gist of that movie, in case the plot summary goes thusly. He steals a bunch of missiles that have a gas in them that'll kill a lot of people because it's a potent gas, and he threatens the government to give him some money so he can help out people that were abandoned in war. It doesn't really go his way, but I think we'll have a better chance if we do it.
Well, see, that brings up the question, though. If you were in control of those spirit nukes, as they were called, what would you demand, and who would you demand it from?
The Black Hand. We'd have to find somebody that can represent them. Technocracy. Isn't there like a council of deviants? Get them, get everybody
we'll
on the
just
phone.
we'll
Get
get
a
everybody in the room and be like, "We're gonna blow you up unless you." I'm not
Yeah.
feeling this one so much.
Well, I was just his downfall in that movie was he wasn't willing to blow up one of those missiles and actually kill people, and so I wouldn't either. But somebody else would have to be like, "All right, we're doing it, pushing the button." So yeah, that's probably not a good plan. Let's not do that. Disabling them either brute force via magic. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Via ranged pulse widths of a certain harmonic frequency, or we can just take them apart. Maybe we can just take them apart.
If there was a way that we could create a field that was similar to, you guys remember Pandora, where we weren't allowed to use any of our enhanced devices.
Okay, I'm following.
If we could create that pulse there, the nukes would be disabled for a moment, and then we could take our time to dismantle them in a safer environment.
I don't know. I like that idea.
Or we could
we can
set up some type of teleporter and just shove those nukes to Pandora.
and hope
they stay there.
Apart. Yeah. What if we?
I mean,
we just had a black hole created. We could launch the nukes into the black hole that was created to hold the meat planet, and they just wouldn't go off for like a million years as they were just slowly inching their way towards the black hole. I don't know how long that flight is. If we could just literally retarget them and launch them off the planet.
The deep umbra works in really weird ways. So, I'm sorry, deep space. Deep space works in really weird ways that we don't understand, and capabilities of some reality back. Also,
Yeah,
weren't we supposed to do something about the Black Hand? Like, we knew about that before. That Alucard told us about it. Anybody remember that?
Yeah, Alucard wanted us. Well, he basically told us to report back to the Technocracy what had happened with the meat planet, and then the Black Hand was supposed to know from us talking to Technocracy. I don't.
Yeah. Yep.
We have to probably contact the Black Hand somehow.
Because the Black Hand, according to him, had infiltrated everything, and their stated goal is to eliminate vicissitude. And now that they theoretically know that Alucard is on that planet doing the ritual, they know to send the entity there.
Yeah, the piece of it that escaped.
Yep.
Okay, so we already know that about the Black Hand, but my father said something about it. I can't quite remember what it was.
The Control has deemed them to be the ultimate enemy, and they're going to nuke Illyrium.
Enoch.
Enoch. They're going to nuke Enoch, which is my understanding to be their realm. But that means that there's a realm we could go to. We could try to find a way to Enoch if we want to talk to the Black Hand. I'm not sure why we would. It's just something that I realized. No, this is going back to the hostage scenario. We're not doing that, so never mind.
Do we know what Enoch is, or do we just know the word?
The only explanations that you've kind of had at this point is that Enoch is some kind of umbral realm inside of the Dark Umbra. So the land of the dead, which Technocracy doesn't really have much information on, and doesn't distribute a lot of information on, because, talking about how ghosts exist doesn't really fit in with the paradigm that they're trying to put out there.
It sounds very much like a place I don't want to be.
So, as far as that's kind of the gist that you guys kind of got, but other than that, I would say you'd have to do some occult rolls if you wanted to get anything more than that. Difficulty of 8.
I'll
We
try
also
that.
I think we all have a dot in Wraith lore.
So
Wraith
intelligence
lore will
occult.
also work. Yep. Intelligence occult. If you have Wraith lore, you could add it to your occult.
Okay.
Uno. Dos. Do I hear a trace?
Cuanto? Cinco. Oh.
Oh.
Shit.
And Malachi, are you gonna be making an attempt?
I am. I'm gonna try to look over, see if I got anything to help with the DP mod of 1 at an 8. Nope, just it's nope.
All right. So this is what I'll give you is that since you guys are kind of going off of Wraith lore with this, for the level 1, you just know that it's a umbral realm, a shadow or some kind of realm inside of the world of the dead. You guys do know a little bit about the world of the dead, but you don't really know much beyond that. At level 2 though, or at 2 successes, I will give you that you actually, since this is really just an occult roll, I think I'll give everybody at level 1 that you know that it's the first city, right? So this is the first human city is Enoch, and is anybody here not familiar with the story of the first city?
I can quickly become familiar.
Okay, well, I mean, basically, there's just like in World of Darkness lore, the concept is that there was this first city of humans that the humans ended up making, and once or after a bunch of other shit had kind of happened, but basically, when the first city after they got exiled from the garden, the vampires came in and kind of controlled that entire city. And I want to say that the first city got swept underneath the sea. Let me double check that real quick here.
Like deluge.
Yeah, that's the antediluvians are before the Great Flood is what antediluvian
Yeah, it
means.
sounds like Enoch was. Cain ruled it until the Great Flood.
Right. So when the Great Flood happened, the city kind of got destroyed. And at 2 dots, what you understand, or 2 successes, I'll say that, is that you would understand that after it got destroyed, it got brought into the city, into the world of the dead and created its own realm inside of the world of the dead. But you do know that it has like a connection to vampires, basically, and the biblical first city.
I mean, we've got ourselves a vampire, right?
Yeah, where did we get that one?
It's on the ship, but that was the one that was already incapacitated. That the one dude,
Oh yeah,
deep in the
Dr. Big O.
yeah, he kidnapped kid. It was just another time that Robert was kidnapped.
You know,
Because the day before we had the party where we were trying to. It was during the race.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm surprised that it took the race was the last thing that I remembered. And so we could
How
potentially
hard do you
try
think it is to interrogate a vampire?
They're dangerous because and from my perspective, they're dangerous because of the unknowns. I know enough about them that I know I don't know everything, and they can, if they surprise us with an ability.
Oh yeah, no, I'm absolutely terrified.
I mean, well, shit. Even whatever. The fact that they actually are real is still slightly terrifying. We only learned that a couple of months ago, or I only learned it a couple months ago. But
Right there with you.
yeah. So if we could try. Well, okay. So the Enoch and the vampires and the Black Hand. That's one side of this. Control is another, and then we still have the sphere, which is kind of just in the middle of it. Well, and it's slightly adjacent. Should we try to get a message in? Would that be? Do you think that's possible, or are we going to have to drop it before we contact Buck, Mr. Samsonite?
How was he able to get a message out anyway?
He was pretty powerful to set the whole thing up. But I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking, that we might be able to get a short burst back in.
Sorry, I feel like I might have missed something. I was having some technical the past minute or so.
So that is a good question. Nobody does know how the signal got out, and as far as you understand, there would be no way to get the signal in. However, going crazy on some advanced techno science and building up shit ton of successes and techno babbling your way into some kind of thing that you want to do might work, and that's maybe what his father did.
All right, so I got an idea. It's gonna take. I'm looking at this from the powers perspective, because that's my jam. We go to one of the nodes, the next node, wherever they try to send us, and then we try to modulate the power going out of the node to the sphere in such a way that maybe we can get like a Morse code or some kind of harmonic feedback that might be able to produce some kind of recognizable signal.
I would say that the quickest guarantee to getting a signal in, if that's the route we're going to take, it's time to phone a friend. Either we talk with Tycho's mom or someone else who has a tech savvy background to decipher the channel that he used to get in, and then replicate that.
Who was that lady that lived on the junk planet? Do you think that she would be the right kind of powerful?
That's Maxie.
Maxie, yeah. Is she the right kind of powerful, or is she not that friendly with us?
He's pretty.
I mean,
Maxie's pretty friendly. I think she, I just can never tell. It seems like she always knows a little too much, so it worries me.
I mean, we should tell Tycho should go have a conversation with his mother, purely on the idea of letting her know that, hey, we're trying to get Dad back, and I saw him, and then see if she's got any kind of insight. And then if I guess it's a toss-up. Do we try to play the technocracy and hope control doesn't realize what we're doing, and the fact that we're not just bootlicking to open this thing up for them, but we're actually trying to.
I mean, they're literally sending us to turn these things off, theoretically. So.
Yeah. In my time in the
fine.
military, it is not appropriate for us to be questioning why we're turning these off. We're supposed to go and do it. But
yeah. Well, the other thing that we've kind of established here is that the reason they're sending me, because the defense mechanisms turn off with my presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like they literally have no other recourse. And in fact, I'm assuming that our mission report this time detailed like we couldn't get through the defenses, and that's why we didn't turn that one on.
Yep.
That was the plan.
Yeah, and yes, we're gonna kind of
So
keep
I mean,
doing.
I like Malachi's plan. So we go back to the same place because we get to it. We tell them we've got a plan, and then we interface with it in order to try and send my father a message. Right?
Yeah, what would that message be? Is that message going to be, "Hey, start dismantling the nukes"? Hey,
Well,
get.
I think it would have to be more a question because the uncertainty here is whether or not my father actually sent a message.
Oh yeah, you got to
'Cause it's
send a message.
I would say it's twofold. Did he actually send the message, and does he actually want you to rescue him?
Yeah, yep. Because
yes,
it'll come from up to date Buck Samsonite, not 20-year-old Buck Samsonite.
yeah,
That
because
was
there's a
Wagner's.
possibility at this point that Control faked the message,
It's
the
slim,
original
Yeah.
message.
but yeah, it is. You'd think somebody would notice it. Maybe your mom would be able to tell if it's actually
So
real.
here's what I would have to say. Then have your mom write the message in a way that only Buck would understand, asking
Yeah,
did
using
he
like
want to be rescued.
using like phrases that only they would know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I watched
that's
Hackers last night, and there's a line from it. I left it in that place. I left that thing that one time.
yep.
I left it in the place
It's
I put that thing that one time.
Click.
Yeah.
I'll always know where that is.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's a brilliant addition of having his mom,
okay.
because she has a better chance of writing an actual proper
True.
message for him to remember than
Yeah.
you from your
There's
childhood.
also
I could
at this point
also try. Oh, I was gonna say I could try to. I've been kind of working on this idea of a kind of new type of encryption based on the pattern of the brainwaves of the recipient and reader and stuff. So we could try finagling some of that to see if it works as well. Be a great test case for it. I mean, we'd
Nice.
test it out beforehand between us to make sure it works. But if it works, we could totally use it.
what's the point of it?
It's like another layer of encryption that basically it kind of uses everyone has kind of an impact on the quantum layer around them based on how their conscious patterns emanate. So it takes a pattern of that known. It takes the known pattern and it compares to see whether the person that's trying to read the message or like receive the message matches in a similar fashion. Otherwise, it just kind of corrupts whatever they're trying to read.
Is this for like email, or is this for
I think I could
like,
adapt it to most things.
like even our radio headsets that we will use on mission?
Ooh. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah,
But
let's
that's
get
a
that
great
in my
idea.
suit stat. Oh, also, I put hatches on my suit that I can open up so in case we do wings again, because that was a lot of fun. I've just built
I
it
was
into the suit.
I
now.
was thinking more just so that like no one could maybe intercept the message but to his father. But I like your idea more.
Well, that's that's the engine, the drive of ingenuity. We have to solve this problem, and it turns out it's good for solving a lot of problems. But yeah, I think that's and so Tycho needs to talk to his mom and see how she feels. She might not even help us. I don't know her that well. I know of her, I guess. But
There's also the possibility that we need to look in and see, what we can find out about each.
are we looking for the reason that Control feels that they're a threat? Because if we can fix that, then Control won't want the nukes anymore. Though I have a feeling Control's always going to want the nukes. There's always going to be some threat that's nuke reasonable. Once you got
I'm
them.
a fan of nuclear disarmament myself.
The easiest way to disarm them is to blow them up. But
But just the idea that they're not left out there for anyone to try and claim.
Yeah, that's the reason I don't like the idea of just sending them and flying them into the sun or something, because on route somebody might just get real lucky and show up with their ship and get the right passcode, and then all of a sudden the missile's in their in their cargo bay and they're off to wherever.
We could just like Dragon Ball them, where you deactivate, dismantle, separate all the fucking pieces.
Yeah. We could also, if we don't want to kill all the spirits, depending on how much we can, if we could mount evacuation. What is like 5 billion spirits? What kind of volume do they require in terms of a ship?
It's a
Five
very
five-
interesting question.
Well, they're human.
Full-on Ghostbusters.
Well,
Yeah.
Do they
So-
occupy space?
Kind of, yes. I think.
Because if we could just shot
but-
back them all up and then just let them go into space later, we can detonate.
So you're talking about
them.
the scenario where we blow up the bombs on the planet inside the shield.
Ideally, yeah. The shield will be down at that point because we'll need to take it down to get there. But then, yeah, we detonate them in their silos.
So it's one of those weird things where it's like, so like if you go to one of the planets in deep space where like a bunch of exist, they're more the idea of entities, the manifestation of thought and understanding. And currently, based on the information that we have, all the entities on that planet are manifestations of that one Mage that went there. That planet was supposed to blow up as kind of a dark reflection of anxiety or war. It just didn't happen because that guy showed up. My dad theoretically put a shell around it to prevent control from getting those bombs. Did I get most of that right?
Yeah. Yep. That.
Question. If the Black Hand is trying to eliminate vicissitude, which, if I'm understanding correctly, is a bad thing to keep around, why does Control consider the Black Hand the greatest threat?
Because they're vampires. And
But there's gotta be
they're under
bigger
they're under the weird assumption that they rule the world when the technocracy, heavy on the sarcasm, rules the world. You can't have two rulers.
And they also might prove to be quite dangerous to the paradigm that Control has meticulously built. All of a sudden, these vampires start running around.
Okay, that's fair.
There-
So are we doing a
could
bad
also
thing
be-
by assisting with getting rid of vicissitude?
So
No,
no, vicissitude bad.
because it
Okay.
affects people as well.
But
Or
there
affects.
might
Also,
be-
I kind of need to get rid of vicissitude, so I need them to
That's a good
continue their
point.
job.
Yeah. The other like more strange and dark possibility is that there is a connection between Control and this vicissitude, because they were, I believe Alucard said vicissitude is somewhat sentient. Is that
Oh
right?
no.
Yeah, that's because we've had it talk, or I'm sorry, Phaedra had described it talking.
So the Black
Yeah.
Hand is just trying to eliminate Control, but they know it as vicissitude?
That's an interesting question.
That
There could be people involved who've got a lot more in them than is normal.
It does. I mean, Control
GM,
made
what is our-
vicissitude.
What is our current understanding of Control as character?
So the current understanding of Control that you would have as characters. Well, let's find out by giving this a solid roll, since we don't have a definitive answer as to yet on that. but at the very least, you know that it's an entity that rules the technocracy. But so let's do a roll and see who botches and completely thinks that control is like the just an old man who like
Bill Gates, man. Windows. What is that?
Intelligence plus technocracy lore. If you don't have technocracy lore, which you probably don't, which is always good to know your own lore sometimes, is I would hard pressed to see. I'll say you can do a technology roll, but it's going to be difficulty 8.
I have 1 dot of childhood at the construct.
Childhood at the construct, you can use that along with technology or hyper science. Actually, I would allow as well.
Can I use investigation from back during my hunting mutton days, researching things like the technocracy?
Sure, I'll let you throw in a little bit of investigation there. Difficulty of 8.
I rolled basic technology, and I had 1 success.
Well, I think it's Tycho who's going to be coming out here with really a good understanding. Malachi, Robert, and Malachi and Robert, you both. The basis is that you know it's some kind of AI that basically runs the technocracy. That's as far as you really understand. Phaedra, you have a little bit more. Phaedra understands that it's possible that there's it's not really an AI, it's more of an entity, and it exists out in deep space and really might not even be like it is something that is kind of like an AI, but has different kind of origins and an entity, and it's definitely not like your concept of what an AI is. And then Tycho, you understand that it used to be a council of like 7 or something like that, like 1 for each one of the conventions, and then they all like meshed themselves together to form this like crazy technological AI entity that exists in outer space that has run the computations as to how best lead humanity into the future.
So you would,
Oh,
I
wait.
mean, with my basic understanding of control, it would be really weird for it to be controlled by some type of thing that controls vampires.
When he just said a bunch of people that smushed themselves together, what does that make you think of?
Well, yeah.
Vicissitude. I mean, but then they also might just exist inside a computer. I don't know. So like jars.
But if a bunch of people that had vicissitude became control, is what I'm wondering. Like what if there was someone corrupted by vicissitude that was part of what became control?
What if the meat planet is control? Probably no. Never mind. No, that's dumb. Or is it?
And if they're not, and it's... Oh, sorry. I was thinking of AIs and how it might just change the number of significant different digits to then make rounding errors that result in wanting to control vicissitude. But if one of them had it and was smushed into it, we're pretty confident that its vicissitude is an agent of the worm.
Yes. Yeah, pretty confident in that. But once again, all of that just came from a vampire You have not checked with other sources. You also have some werewolf lore that came from Tycho, I believe, kind of or not verified, but Soul Eater sounds very similar to the concepts. And when he talked about the vampire talked about how they're about the Eater of Souls that was destroyed by the werewolf tribe, and Tycho, confirmed that was true. So the vampire believes that there's a connection to the worm, and Tycho also can verify that to a certain degree.
Can we set up a meeting with Control and some worm-detecting vampires? Not vampires, werewolves. Do you think that would... Never mind.
No.
Could we...
That's
Setting
not
up a meeting
terrifying.
with Control is already impossible. Getting werewolves to meet Control, double. But I can probably go talk to my mom.
She might have more insight into Control as well, but
Yeah.
I think that we move forward with the coded message plan at the next, wherever they send us, wherever it sends us next. I keep thinking of Control as a group of people, like the name of the Board of Regents, but it's an it, not a they. I mean, it could be a they. I don't know, but
Oh, and Robert, did you get the message I sent you?
I don't believe so. Now I did.
Okay, cool.
secret tunnel.
So are we splitting up to do stuff?
Tycho needs to talk to his mom. What do we need to do?
I want to do research experiments.
Anything I could help you with?
I mean, if you want to help fortify my apartment while I'm doing my research, I can do that.
I recently got a new method for interpreting harmonic. I got Forces 3, so I will go around and reinforce your apartment for Forces and Prime.
Sweet.
I'll put a couple of successes into that.
Yeah, and if I need a guinea pig, you'll be right here. Appreciate it.
As long as it goes as awesomely as those wings did, I'm on board. You got me up for these. Once I get a bad experience with your experiments, then that might change. But right now, I'm all for it.
Okay, duly noted.
So, did I hear right then that we're going to get a message going with hopefully help from Tycho's mom, and then we're going back and basically disabling the shield and trying to dismantle the nuke, or waiting for a response? I missed that part. Sorry.
We're going to go to a node and then try to send the message, and then hopefully we get a response. And the plan is to. I think the plan right now, although it's really still in the writer's room, is to drop the shield and, with intention, take out the nukes as efficiently as possible. Although that method is still up for debate. I think getting a message is going to be a good starting point. The question is if we want to go to the Dream node, which we could get to pretty quickly, because we could go right there. We've been there already. Or if we want to wait until the next mission, and so we can keep Control in the dark as to what we're investigating them, basically. We just do the next mission as they would expect us to.
I mean, I'm fine with either one.
We may want to be light with that, just because it's possible that your mom is going to betray us and tell Control what we're up to. But that's just, again, my slight paranoia that I have all the time.
Malachi.
Yeah.
I was about to defend her, but no, he's right. We don't know. Not for sure.
I do trust you to feel it out as you go. Don't get hoodwinked by your mom.
If she was gonna turn us into control, she would have done it like 6 or 7 missions ago. She
Yeah,
had plenty of times to screw us over.
We don't know that
I mean,
she didn't. Is that
she's
control
in some
knows that?
secret cabal with a bunch of reality.
Ah, that's true. Yeah, she's probably not. That's a good check mark in her favor. But she could have turned us in,
Or is
6
that all
missions
control
ago.
too?
Oh, it could be.
She saved us from being trapped in the future. I'm good with Tycho's mom.
I am just saying it's completely possible that she was ordered to do that via control because we're needed to undo the shield. Or I'm sorry, Tycho is needed. We're not. Tycho is needed to undo the shield. And so it could have been the control all along. It was control all along. But
It is all control. Everything is control. It predicted everything. We have to do something that's so random it could never predict it. I slap Robert.
butterflies, man.
I ask you how you thought that would in any way improve our progress towards our goal.
I don't know. I'm spinning out. I'm gonna go talk to my mom. Sorry, I slapped you.
Yeah.
Put a patch on your cheek, Robert.
I just sit down dejectedly.
I didn't say on the face.
I didn't either.
I'm gonna start walking around with my tricorder-esque device and do some scans and find some weak spots. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna keep distance so I don't get slapped.
I am going to dig into doing some final checks on like a dry run of this encryption that I've hopefully worked out in theory.
All right. So let's just kind of do a round here. Tycho, you said that you wanted to go talk to your mother. So we'll go ahead and start there.
Yes.
I'm guessing you're talking to her at home.
Yeah, probably don't want to do it at the construct.
So your mom arrives at home at like about 2 a.m. in the morning. Getting off of work.
Too hard.
And did you like let her know ahead of time that you wanted to talk to her, or are you like ambushing her in the middle of the dark, like, a swivel chair? Mother.
Jeez, I don't know how I would do it. See, it's 19. She would probably have a pretty good cable package. I'll just be watching TV. I still live at home, so that's fine. I'm just there.
Okay, so you hear your
just be
mother come in, and she's in the kitchen, grabbing a bite to eat.
So I'll just go in there, and just be like, so, Mom, do you know about the mission we just came back from? Did the general maybe tell you about it?
No, I know that you guys are working directly for, I know, the general gist of what you guys, because out of game, I believe that you guys have already told her, because I remember there was an interaction between you and her at one point about your dad going missing already. So she does know about the missing dad. But she doesn't know, but she says, I just know that you guys have been, trying to find your father, and I hope that you are able to accomplish that.
Well, yeah. So, are you aware that we're getting these missions directly from Control?
To a small degree. I know that it's not showing up on any mission reports anywhere.
You probably know that the mission that he was sent on, in which he disappeared, was also directly Control.
I had my suspicions.
Anyway, yeah. So the last place we went looks like. So I'll just tell her about the Alter Earth planet, the shield, and then the meat planet briefly. Shut that one down. Then dreaming, blah blah blah. He left a message. Control is sending. I'm the only one he.
Interesting. She takes all of this in, and like at the end of it she kind of just looks at you and goes, "Do you have that thumb drive? The one that I gave you in the future?"
Yeah.
Can you go get that?
I just pull it out of my.
She presses like some things on the countertop, and a computer screen kind of pops open, and there's like a little slot for USB. And she's kind of like sticks it in. Computer, stop.
Control is rising up.
She sticks the USB into the slot and starts typing away at real quick on like a holographic keyboard that kind of pops up, and she like enters into a few things here, and she says, "Interesting." And she like slides up a few things here and there, and it looks like just a bunch of garbly-gook to you. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And she seems to be accessing things in ways that just don't make any sense whatsoever to you. After a little while, she like closes it down and hands the drive back over to you, and she says, "I can tell you what happened in the future regarding this, but it's only that future that existed in a parallel universe that has differences. I can tell you from what I've researched just into what I've seen there are definite differences between our universe and the universe that existed in this weird state that you guys were able to somehow breach into."
Okay. You gonna tell me?
From my understanding is that in that reality they were able to get a hold of the nukes, and that they were able to, that Control was able to get a hold of the nukes, and used it to destroy Enoch. From what I'm reading here is that along with some other events that took place trigger the end of end of space travel, basically, and locks out a lot of, causes many powerful beings to be destroyed, and the world kind of goes into chaos after that, it seems. There isn't a lot of information as to what exactly happened pertaining to anything other than this seems to, from what I'm seeing here, is that if you follow this path, it's possible you'll just follow the same path of what happens in the other world anyways.
So Control can't, or will end up like that.
Well, it won't be any, I mean, there will be, it's not necessarily that it's these nukes caused this. It's just the same thing, you know, the use of them happened in the other world and it didn't save the world. So the answer is definitely not dropping the nukes all by itself. It might be a combination of needing more than that. Unfortunately, your mother I spent most of my time trying to research into how to get you back rather than researching into directly how to prevent what was happening.
Well, at this point, we still have a chance. What do you know about
Not really familiar with it. I know it in the biblical sense of the first city.
You don't know why Control would want to destroy it? Why they would basically the most powerful
Well,
things ever created out of space?
I mean, if from what you kind of told me, Enoch sounds like it's probably the headquarters of this Black Hand, and they're looking to wipe out this headquarters. There's, but I've never heard of the Black Hand or anything about vicissitude or, basically I'm learning all of this from you now. And I don't see anything inside of the reports that talk about any of this besides that inside of the reports that I have here is just basically that the shield was taken down still, and that there was an enemy of the well, I guess that she learned a little bit about the Black Hand and about Enoch and what was going on with her husband. And he didn't end up coming back even after the nukes were retrieved in that timeline. But it doesn't look like there's anything other than it was, just a tactical attack that happened, and it coincides with when the world went upside down, basically, and all hell broke loose.
So, we have a plan. The Control is still sending us to shut down. We think we might be able to interface with one rather than turn it off. We might be able to get a message. But we don't know if he's still alive. Is there anything that... You know what? Never mind. I think I've got it.
She likely raises an eyebrow and then says, "Okay, well, if you need any help, just let me know."
I do still remember him. There's one thing.
I thought you were going to get a coded message from her.
He doesn't care about
I mean,
that.
otherwise, yeah,
I-
it sounds like she
didn't
has an
wanna-
idea.
I didn't want to throw that responsibility on Josh, and also I want to come up. That's cry.
Aww. All right. So we will, I think, go on from there and go to Phaedra.
Oh wait.
Yep.
No, I got one more thing.
Yep.
So my mother is on that Freaky Deaky council, so I'm just gonna ask her: is there anybody that you could put us in contact with? We can meet him out friggin' deep space that would know.
I think he broke up there at the end. He said that would know
Anything about this stuff.
I tell you what, I can set up a meeting, possibly with somebody. I'll let you know. I have some ideas. I'll let you know as soon as I can verify.
All right, I'm done.
All right, cool. Phaedra, you said that you wanted to do some research and fortifying of your house.
Yeah.
What do you want to research into?
So I have a vampire, right? I might not be able to do it just by myself. Is Robert still here?
Yeah.
You wanna help dive into the mind and life patterns of someone who's sleeping?
Is this an undead someone who's sleeping?
Possibly.
Hell yeah. As long as he stays sleeping.
Oh yeah, I got plenty of things to keep him knocked out. Yeah. I want to gather as much information and that we can from him, whether it be who he is, what he does he know anything about the Black Hand? Also, like, what is his abilities? Can those be replicated? All those wonderful things.
All right. So let's have you go ahead and make a let's see here. So you're basically going to be experimenting on the vampire itself.
Yes.
Well, now when you say it like that,
um. So I'm sorry, it cut out a little bit for me when I went to go get a drink and I got too far away. Can you go over it one more time? Sorry.
So, yep, I'm going to do live scans and blood samples, and then also a mental scan, and then also with the help of Robert, dive deeper into his mind to gather information on
Who he is.
who this guy is.
I'm even kind of thinking about trying to go so far as to maybe just get some random memories to replay and just see if we can glean some cool stuff.
Yes.
All right. So give me the breakdown of what's this what does this look like? Are you guys having him on like a bed that you've put all these like electro node thingies on him and stuff like that, and it's feeding into like a computer? Or are you like, you know, putting him in a white room with lasers that are like scanning it? Like what's the
I
give
would
me the
definitely
visual.
prefer to be in a different room when we're actually doing all this, if we can make that happen.
Do you want to transport him to my apartment and do it here and just grab some equipment, or do you want to stay on the ship?
Well, it's a great question.
It's like I got him hooked up to a bunch of wonderful goodies on the ship.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a little unclear on how much the technocracy knows about the fact that we have him on the ship.
They don't know.
Okay. Is you trust everyone and everything there?
Worst case scenario, the vampire wakes up, he slaughters everyone on the ship for us anyway, and we'll be dead, so it won't even matter.
All right. Ethical discussion aside, we'll save that for later because we don't have time. I think that the ship is more well equipped, and I like the idea of being remote.
Yes, I'm good with that.
And if it's stored there and they don't know, I mean, that's about all I can ask for.
Do you want me to accompany you to the ship?
I mean, if you want to fortify the apartment or come to the ship, it's up to you.
Well, it's from my perspective, I kind of want to be, in case he does wake up and start slaughtering. It's not going to look good if I don't die with you guys. So,
Like where your head's at.
Yeah.
That way, only Tycho is the one who's like, y'all brought a vampire on the ship?
But he's got to answer the questions, the tough questions. But yeah, I basically would. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be fine, and the ship is outfitted, and you've had a lot of time to prepare it. But I would like to, in case it does pop up, just put it back down real quick.
Sweet. If I got some spare time, I could probably I don't know if I have the ability yet, but maybe I could make you some permanent wings that you could just regrow when you want them.
That is going to be a great way of getting me paradox constantly. So, like, I put out my wings. It's like, oh, they start on fire, and also you're on fire. as
It's like
people
a
with
it's
wings
like
are
a
not.
fun little Russian roulette game of like you get wings, but what else?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to turn it down. And maybe not even permanent, just last for a while or something I can prep for a mission with. Because I know permanent is like takes a lot more successes.
I could just make you a belt of EpiPens.
I just gotta make sure that it doesn't accidentally get used in an actual EpiPen emergency. It's like, I got stung by a bee. Slam. Why do you have wings now? I do like the idea though.
I'm gonna quickly shoot Tycho an email and let him know that we're gonna be at the ship. Just
All right.
just to be nice.
So you guys arrive on the spaceship. You guys kind of get set up. There's already like the guys already in a bed and everything like that, and all the techno devices and consoles and shit are all lighting up and getting you tons of readings and stuff. I believe that you also get an enhanced one in life while you're here.
I think. Was it +1 or +2? Let me check.
It's +1.
Yeah, it was
Because
+1.
I got +1 on Mind, which I totally forgot about until now. So I'm wondering if we can run. Are we able to sync up our labs? Do we have this all hooked up on the ship where we can like share data between our labs? That I could go work in my lab, or am I working in hers or mine?
I could set something up.
I would say that you would have to pick one or the other room.
Okay, that's fair. I was kind of agreeing with that, but I had to ask.
Yeah, no, it was. I had to think about it for a second, but not immediately. You might be able to figure out something in the future to
Okay.
run them together.
You just gotta
Yeah,
have
in
a
that case,
wall
I'm gonna
hold
kind
it.
of like jury rig up some stuff with what I have available from her lab and try to get some good like. Ooh, how out is this vampire?
He's pretty out. Like you don't get any kind of signal coming from him
Can we get,
mentally
like,
or physically. He's not even in a dream
direct?
state.
Oh wow. All right. I'm thinking direct stimulation of the brain. Are you ready to tap into a vampire's skull?
Yeah.
Sweet.
We going in together?
You don't have
You
robots
remember
that
the
can do this?
last-
Come on.
You remember the last time we accidentally touched minds together?
No, I just mean like, oh man, I hope it doesn't go that far. Oh man, now you got me on this idea. I wonder if I could like get some connection in there and try to almost like rig up a VR goggle set to just like experience some of his memories randomly. Oh.
Well, I'm gonna make a prime claymore to destroy this entire section of the ship in case it does get out. And
I'm gonna
so-
run back to my lab
got a
and try
moment?
to whip up that thing.
All right. Well, I'll start my scans. Well,
All right, I want
Wait,
both of
no.
you to. We're gonna have you guys kind of combine your roles here. So Robert and Phaedra both do. I'll allow you to lower your difficulties by doing a medicine plus intelligence. Difficulty base will be you're going to be using a level 3 sphere. It'll be coincidental because of where you guys are doing it. So we're going to say base difficulty is 6. And because I'm going to give this a little bit harder because of this is being done on like a supernatural kind of creature, and it's in this weird torpor state that you're not even getting brainwave signals off of it or anything like that, I'm going to up the difficulty another 2 to put it at a difficulty of 8. Base is 6. The highest it can be is 9. The lowest it can be is 3. Currently, it is at difficulty 8. Roll however you like. You can forego the ability checks to do straight up Arate rolls. If you fail or botch on the ability roll, I consider that for part of the magic rolls because I like to see magic botches more.
I got 4 successes.
All right. Wow. So your difficulty then you have to use 1 in order to succeed. All the rest of them lower your difficulty. So you have a difficulty of 3 and or no, you have a difficulty of 5 because
And
difficulty
you
is
said
8.
it's difficulty of 8 for the intelligence medicine as well?
Difficulty of I didn't say, but you guys rolled as if
I
it
didn't
was
roll
8.
yet, did I?
Yeah, or did you do Robert action? Was that you? No.
No,
Nope,
I think
that
that
was
was the one
801. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I am gonna go with a difficulty of 8 on the action roll.
Yeah.
All right, so Robert, you can try again next turn at a difficulty of the magic roll difficulty. The intelligence action roll will still be an 8, but the magic roll will be now a difficulty of 9. So our Phaedra, though, go ahead and roll at. Oh, you got 4 successes, so that would be a difficulty of 5.
Does the +1 add as well to the ROT or no?
No, not to the Arate, just to the
Okay.
or to the life effect that you can do level sphere.
I'm going to spend a willpower just in case.
Okay. All right, so we have still a solid 3 successes on that. And Robert, I'm going to have you try again here real quick and see kind of going on to the next one. So it'll be difficulty of 9 for the Arate roll, difficulty of 8 for the action roll to lower difficulty. You can always spend willpower.
For the action roll, can I substitute intelligence and either computer or technology as I'm focusing on the VR memory interpretation aspect?
Absolutely.
One.
1 success.
So I'm back down to 8.
Well, 2 successes. 2 successes. 10s is 2 for me, so.
Yeah, but 2 1s.
Oh, yes, but you got an 8, a 9, and 2 10, or and a 10. So you had 4
Oh yeah.
successes.
Okay. Yep. All right. So I'm 2 successes. So I'm down to a 7.
Yep, and then you can always spend quiescence to lower the difficulty as well. The lowest the difficulty, or you can spend up to your Arate in, or Avatar, Genius. In, a quiescence per action.
Okay.
Magical action. I'm sorry, advanced science, using the primal energies of the universe.
And I just said I was at what, 7? Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna spend 1 quintessence and a willpower.
Okay. Well, 2 successes. And with a total of 5 successes, I'm going to say that you guys are able to get into the mind of this vampire that you have here.
Well, this shouldn't be terrifying or anything.
So, when you guys drop into the mind of this vampire, the first thing that happens is that you guys kind of wake up and there is nothing around you whatsoever. There's just a complete black nothingness that you see inside of here. And then there's a huge explosion that just seems like you're just like, what the hell is that? And after the sky kind of fills with just pure white and it starts fading away, you kind of see that you're on like primitive Earth. Um, and we're going to kind of put it at a little cliffhanger there, and we're going to go to break here. And I will go through and tell you what you kind of see, and we're going to have a little bit of a run here on going through this vampire's brain. This is going to be interesting. To tell you the truth, I did not think you guys were going to do this. This is going to be really crazy. So
We're thinking, holy shit, what did we do?
Stay tuned, because you just got to see the Big Bang, and that's what you just saw. So that's a little preview of what the fuck's going into this vampire's brain that you just jumped into.
Who the hell do we have?
We have an antediluvian?
Fast forward. Is there a fast forward button?
Fast forward. All right.
So we mind melded, and now we're going to experience all of time together.
It does seem very familiar where you're at. It looks a lot like Pangea, where you guys were before. So,
before they went under, I'm going to ask Phaedra, can I touch it? The vampire that's knocked out.
I mean, sure.
We just drilled into its skull. I'm pretty sure you can do whatever you want.
All right. I just wanted to feel if it's got a pulse.
it does not have a pulse.
It's a vampire. Of course it doesn't.
Well, I see. Okay. I didn't know if they did or not, and I was going to utilize that like to try to read if it's waking up or not.
I just
Can you
pointed
give me
to
a pointer?
EKG.
Yeah, can you give me a pointer? It's like if these lines start bouncing above this point, shoot it in the head. You know, because
If it was wide awake, it still wouldn't
EKG
have a
would still be
pulse.
flat.
But he does have a good point, is that you probably did give him a monitor for brainwave activity, and you do see their signatures inside, like what they told you would be their signatures inside of his brainwave activity now, and his brainwave does now have activity.
Okay, and it's just low
But it
level.
needs to.
Is it well below theirs, or is it like similar to theirs? Right, currently. And I'm sure
It's very odd. It's one of those like it seems like it spikes every once in a while, but then it goes back to nearly just, kind of just a small amount of activity. But there's like these huge spikes that happen that just kind of, even the monitor seems to short out for a second.
Oh, you think?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another. Welcome back to Technogate 1999. Where we left last, our heroes, we had Phaedra and Robert were diving into the mind of a Malkavian. Although they didn't know about that until after this, we went on break, and then I informed them. So now you get to know, though, because I kind of let the goose out of the bag. So what you guys kind of saw was like an explosion, last thing that you kind of saw, and you guys kind of ended up on primordial Earth. And what you see right now is a bunch of angels in the sky. The whole, like, feathers and winged humanoids kind of going about, and you see them like constructing a crazy, beautiful scene like you've never. Like, it just touches your soul. You're not seeing it or smelling it or hearing it. You're experiencing what they're kind of putting out there, and it's like this just beautiful nature scene of the sun coming up at the perfect time with the clouds hitting everything right, the beautiful colors and a rainbow, and birds are just flying about in a beautiful flock-like formation around two humans, and that are naked, that are, just kind of looking around, not even paying attention to like what's going on at all. One of the man grabs one of the birds as it flies by in this beautiful, perfect formation, completely destroying the scenery by grabbing onto the bird and just biting its head off. You see,
Yeah, no, go ahead.
You see all of the angels kind of look out on this in horror and then just kind of fade away. And as you guys kind of see this all kind of happen before you, you kind of are now unentranced. And you also see before you, you're kind of in this like open woods area on like a hill kind of overlooking all of this beautiful scenery. And the two humans are about maybe a mile down. You can barely make them out at this point, or not a mile, maybe like a quarter mile away right now down the hill. And that's where you can kind of see them doing, where they bit the head off of a bird. Um, in this clearing, though, you also see there's the vampire that you had jumped into is long blonde hair. He's, kind of flipping through a book. He's got on like a long trench coat. He has a cowboy hat on, and he's flipping through this giant book that looks like it has like maybe 5,000 pages. Like it's just like this. It's unbelievable that he's even holding on to it at this point.
I just turn and look at Phaedra like, what the hell?
I mean, I got nothing to add. this is a roller coaster.
I kind of like
just enjoy
subtly
it.
point towards the couple, and then like with a questioning look, and then I kind of like point towards the guy with the book with like a questioning look. Like, do we go to them? Do we maybe go look at him?
We go to the man with the book. Also, like, I grab a notepad and a pencil.
A notepad and a pencil seems to peer out of nowhere into your hand, and you can start writing down stuff. As you approach the man with the book, as he seems to be at like the beginning of the book, and he says, "And the angels created a scenery that the humans had no appreciation for." And he kind of like writes that down. He kind of like looks over at you, and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?"
Hi,
"Oh, hello.
I'm Robert. You
I'm-
are
I'm Kyle. Who's
Hi,
that?"
Kyle.
He points at Phaedra.
Hi, I'm Phaedra.
"Oh, hello, Phaedra. Are you guys here to help me document all of history?"
Not exactly.
Yes, in a way.
I like her answer.
All right, let's go with her.
Well, come with me. I'm gonna jump ahead here. I got some things that I wanted to take a look at here. I just was going back to the beginning for a little while here. Come with me. And he like walks into the woods.
All right, we gonna follow?
Yeah, I
Follow.
mean, at this point, I'm still kind of thinking that this is just, yeah, a pretty chill VR thing. I mean, he's interacting with us, which is weird.
It could just be that he might be the consciousness of this individual.
I didn't really plan on. This was supposed to be like a read-only type thing.
Well, you got the full access, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah, all right.
All right, so you guys head into the woods after him, and when you guys head into the wood, there's like a thick fog that kind of comes up and then kind of goes away as you walk through, and you guys come out to like a little small isthmus. You're back in Madison. You can see it's similar. You recognize like Lake Mendota and the Picnic Point area that you are at right now, but it's all ancient, or well, not ancient, but it looks, there is no civilization here. The city isn't here. It's all wilderness, and what you see before you is a coven of 3 witches who are, doing their blood magic rituals with, the entrails of some local like wildlife, like a deer. And they seem to be conducting some kind of ritual. Um, the man in the with the book kind of continues to, or Kyle continues to walk down around this and kind of starts documenting, going, oh, so this was the first ritual that the Verbena did in Madison in order to capture Picnic Point.
I kind of follow close behind and I ask him, so you say you're documenting all of history?
Oh yes, yes, yes. It is my job to understand what has happened before, so I can better understand what has happened, what will come to happen. The end is nigh, my friend, and I must find out how we can save the world.
Oh,
Who gave you that role?
Well, of course, Melkov did.
Who?
Melkov. You don't know Melkov? Well, you probably wouldn't know Melkov. He's a good guy, though.
how long have you been doing this?
Oh, I don't know. Forever.
That makes sense. Okay. I think we're kind of after the same thing, oddly enough.
Oh,
We're
good.
also kind of looking at the fact that the end of the world is nigh, and we don't really want that to happen either.
Well, then come with me. Let us learn about history. And he walks off into the woods again.
So
This is going well.
I forgot that talking with a Malkavian is different from learning from a Malkavian. We ain't getting anything from him if we can't, you know. This is
With
so
one
hard.
dot in vampire lore, do I know that Malkavians are insane? Or do I know of anything about Malkov?
Go ahead and make a vampire lore check, difficulty of 8.
Is it just vampire
Intelligence,
lore?
intelligence,
Intelligence vampire lore?
Can I just do intelligence occult?
vampire. Yeah, difficulty of 9. Ooh, Phaedra with a difficulty of 9 got 2 successes. Wow, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. And solid 3 successes. So yeah, you I would say Phaedra, you know, you would kind of connect this to this guy's maybe a Malkavian. And you also know that um you know that Malkavians are possibly insane, and are well known for having mental problems, kind of tied to their clan. Um, Robert, you know that um, there is some lore about Malkavians being prophets.
Yeah, I think we actually have to play along with this one. Are you in for that?
I mean, of course I am, but my
Of
problem
course you
is
are.
we have a set of questions that we need answers for, and we can't get them if if
No,
it's answers
I don't know if we're gonna get any answers to anything we want to ask, but we might just get answers to things we haven't thought to ask.
Yeah, and I'm okay with this ride. I'm just
Yeah.
kind of salty that we're not gonna get what we want.
Eh, sometimes maybe what we want isn't what we need. Eh?
Okay, Mr. Life's Box of Chocolate.
It was worth a shot. It worked on Malachi when we were in that dreaming place.
Okay.
All right, let's go follow along, I guess.
All right, so you guys follow along. And what you see is like an older man who's like kind of seems to be like as you guys you guys walk into like a meeting chamber room of like the 1800s of like some kind of Senate, or some kind of chambers where statesmen would be meeting, and there's a bunch of different kind of statesmen that are around, and they're all talking about the creation of Wisconsin and the where the capital needs to be. And you see this one of the men kind of just take all of these furs and like make all of these promises of land that he'll be granting them if they make it on this one area and he calls it Madison, Wisconsin.
Do we recognize this man?
Yes,
Is
you
he-
do. He looks like JD, the leader of the tradition mages in Madison, the one that you met when you guys were you met all of the rebellion, quote unquote.
So he was really trying to get it built here for a reason then. Interesting.
And then you see you see Kyle kind of going around, and he seems to be like looking at all the paperwork and everything, and kind of checks out stuff. And you see that when he interacts with stuff, nothing they don't seem to notice him or you guys in any way, shape, or form. It just seems to be like a movie that's kind of like playing out. That's a 3-dimensional, non-interactive movie.
Sweet. I'm also going to look at documents as well, because this seems very important.
So you do see that there are also construction manuals that JD has kind of laid out for Madison. And they call him James, they actually call him, it's James Doty is the name that they keep on calling him. But you know him as JD. But he seems to have also these kind of odd construction plans to build a Capitol building that has, when you kind of look at it, you automatically just associate this with, what what he's laid out in these kind of plans is definitely some kind of harnessing of some kind of mystical energies or primal energies in the area. And it's something that if you just look at Madison normally, you kind of already get that. Everybody already talks about it, but this seems to be like it just jumps out as you as being like, oh, this guy's obviously setting up some kind of spell.
Checks out.
Kyle kind of walks around and then starts writing down. He's like, ah, yes, the first time that he found the node, or well, not the first time that he made plans in order to capture this node, and then he walks out of the room.
I quickly follow after and try asking, is that node important for some reason?
Oh yes, that's gonna be what's gonna save the world, I believe. Come with me, I'll show you why.
I'm just
Kinda
jotting
shrug.
down notes furiously.
So you guys end up outside of the Capitol building as you guys walk out of one of the buildings surrounding the Capitol, and you see that it's on fire, and everybody's kind of like freaking out. Fire department's here, and but you also see that there's a giant rip in the sky of that's just like a black hole that opens up, and you can see spirits pouring out of it. You can see there's like a werewolf that's in a fight with somebody, and you see like a mage that's like obscuring it, making it so that nobody else is seeing what's kind of going on. Well, there's like different spirits that are going around, and like everybody, there's just this massive outpour of insanity that's happening around you. He says, ah yes, and this is when he tried to capture it truthfully for the first time. Didn't work out so well that time.
Who tried to capture what?
Well, the node, of course. JD, his first great failure that would lead to his greatest success. And then he walks into another store.
I keep following, but I'm like looking around trying to see if I'm missing something, I guess.
Same. Was this like what time era was
Yeah.
this event?
So this would have been here. Really?
1904.
1904, yes. Oh, that's why I'm on the. I need to go to the next page now.
Okay. So it's not something we have to prevent.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. Let's keep going.
You're like, oh, this is. Yeah, you kind of like look around and you see that this was more of the, early night or early turn of the century, 20th century, when the capital was set on fire. As you guys enter into the building, what you see before you is what looks to be like a person that was in Kronos werewolf form, where he's in the full werewolf format. He kind of comes out of you're in this like round building. There's beautiful or round room. There's this beautiful lights and tapestries and stuff that are in the ceiling and on the walls, all just beautifully magically lit. And around it has has this large table. There seems to be a couple doors that come into here, and through the doors you see is a full-grown werewolf that turns back into a normal human as he enters through the door. JD enters in through the door. A ghostly visage of what looks to be like a Grim Reaper looking, has the whole cloak over the face, and basically all you can see is like a ghostly visage of a cloaked Reaper looking thing kind of comes through one of the doors, and then a very pale woman walks through the doors, and you hear them speaking, but you can't hear what they're saying. It just comes out as kind of like garble. It seems to be like there's some kind of protection that's going on here that is even preventing Kyle's like dreamlike state from trying to portray any information as to what these things are saying to each other. But they all seem to be meeting with each other. And then the only thing that you hear is the word Gahara. And then they seem to disperse after that, and Kyle says, "Ah, yes, the first meeting of the Gahara pack." And he walks off through one of the doors.
What's the Gahara Pact?
Well, Gahara Pact is the group that's trying to formate a fight against the nameless. And he just continues walking towards the door.
I look over at Phaedra and quietly say, "Control?"
I don't know. Well, just keep following. I'll write that down.
I'm trying to piece all this together.
He's jumping.
I mean, we
too
are in the
straight,
mind of a
like,
Malkavian, so
so
maybe
many
that's what I'm
events.
doing wrong, but
Yep, just keep going.
All right, so as you guys walk through the next door, you guys come to what looks like the outside of the city. You guys are outside of the Capitol building. It's nighttime. Everything seems to be quiet, and there's just some college kids that are kind of sitting on the campus lawn, like hanging out, and just normal shoppers and walker-bys that are kind of just walking about the Capitol. And you see Kyle laying down on the Capitol lawn, just looking over through his book. Do you
Got
approach
any
him?
idea how to guide this one any better?
I lost connection for a hot second. What happened?
Kyle is just sitting, laying down on the lawn, reading through his book.
And their vitals have been stable this whole time?
Yep.
Just okay, cool. Checking in.
I'm gonna sit down in the grass with him. Have you? So you've been jumping back and forth between these events for a while, haven't you?
Yeah.
Are you? Have you found any clues as what can help us for the future yet?
Well, I think we need to get part of this Gahara pack. That's not going to happen for a long time, from my understanding. So, right now, bad things are just going to happen. There's nothing that we can do to stop it.
Well, that's very depressing. Would you like my advice?
Sure.
When you stare at a picture for too long, you start getting narrow-minded. But if you add another pair of eyes, it might help. Do you mind if I look through your book?
Well, go ahead and give it a shot. And he hands you the book. Make a strength roll, difficulty of 8.
Just straight up strength?
Yep. All right. So, this is about the same time that it's about 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning right now. Tycho comes onto the ship and enters into the room. When you do see that Phaedra starts to have some odd brainwave activity immediately that's kind of like spiking on the monitor, Malachi. And Tycho has just walked in.
All right. Hey, Tycho. So this is kind of a bit.
What's going on?
Yeah. There's things.
Oh, are they
Things are happening.
they interfaced with the van? Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yep. Do you just help me watch these monitors? And we're looking for things to start flashing red or make beeping sounds. I'm not really sure. They didn't give me any instruction as to like what to pay attention to. I'm sure it's fine, but I'm just this line here is Phaedra's brainwave. This line here is Robert's brainwave, and this line here is the vampires. And if the vampires get too high, well, we have to kill it, or at least I'm not going to let it wake up and murder everyone. But I'm just kind of watching it right now, and this is the first time there was some action here. That's not just normal, as Phaedra's brainwave seems to have spiked.
Don't they have like an exit button?
Well, I think they were just gonna watch, but you know how dimensional science, there's they connected to it more than I think was the expectation.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
wait, does
I'll just,
Phaedra have a trank gun? Is her trank gun nearby?
It never leaves my belt. You probably get it.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's got a
so
trick.
I just realized this is the way, because I was just thinking that if you guys start getting crazy, I'll just shoot you and then revive your body. But a trank gun is way better than that. So I got a backup plan now
Probably.
here.
Thanks for the backup plan.
Well,
probably booby trapped.
it was a conversation with Tycho made me realize that other people have guns and sometimes theirs are better than mine in terms of the needs. If only I
Okay,
had the
well,
mind control bullets.
Okay. So is the monitor doing crazy shit now?
Yeah, it seems to be Phaedra seems to have some odd spikes that are kind of happening.
Okay.
If I look to her, is she physically responding? Is she like sweating, or is she like shaking, or
Yeah,
anything like that?
she had a weird jolt that just like seemed to like almost like she like when somebody falls in their sleep, like they're
Where you,
in their dream, and then that you see that like you get that like weird body shake.
yeah. Okay. So I'm sure that's nothing. I'm recording all this for later processing.
Yeah. I'm gonna go over to Phaedra's body and just poke her in the shoulder, see if there's any response.
No
I
response.
pay, I watched the monitor. Did there was nothing on the monitor either?
Nothing on the monitor.
Did the monitor do anything?
No, she didn't even register it. It seems,
All right.
which tracks based on what I think has happened, but I'm not 100%.
All right. I have a dot in every sphere now, so
Ooh.
I would like to roll wits, hypertech, and scan all of them using the ship's equipment.
Okay, go ahead and make that roll difficulty of 6.
Remember, you get a +1 in here.
While you're making those scans, Phaedra, difficulty will be 4 for the scan that you're doing, base difficulty. Phaedra, you held onto the book and it just dropped, like it's just extremely heavy, and you just drop it straight to the ground, and the big book just starts fluttering and opens up to a page. Make a willpower roll, difficulty of 9.
Can I spend a willpower on a willpower roll?
Absolutely, you
Okay,
can.
sweet.
Wow, 3 successes then at least. Let's see. 3 successes. So with 3 successes, you're able to kind of read what's going on the page without going immediately insane. But you could definitely see that the words are all kind of like jumbling together, and it's kind of hard to read. But the part that you are at right now talks about here. This particular aspect of the book actually goes right into the lore that you kind of already had learned about, which was about the Eater of Souls that got trapped away by the Croatan werewolf tribe, and their sacrifice that they had to make in order to throw this thing out. And then it also goes into how it then escaped once again many years later, through how it had when it had originally been here, it had spread vicissitude to the land, and that's one of the original ways that it was able to even get to here. So it left like this backup kind of plan to get itself back to Earth, even if it got banished, which it figured it would. And that's what vicissitude is. And so that kind of like gets you kind of some interesting kind of things, in the sense that it's verifying what you guys already know, but you know that this Kyle guy seems to have it inside of this giant book. Make another willpower roll, difficulty of 10.
And as this is going on, I'm trying to rush over to make sure she's okay, because that looked heavy.
I'm going to assume that things are elevated right now, but not crazy.
Sure, you want to rush over? Willpower roll.
You did not fail, or you did not botch, but you did fail. So at this point in time, though, you like everything just starts becoming a jumble. The pages just start like flipping and flopping in all different kind of directions. Like there's a heavy wind incoming in all different, tornado.
Do I see this?
And you see this happening to the book as well, but there's no wind. it's just the book is just kind of going crazy on its own, it seems. Do you want to continue to try to read it?
Can I get my red roll?
Yes, you can go ahead and do you've been able to do your ret roll this whole time. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know the difficulty because I got 3 successes on the hypertech.
Yeah, difficulty was 4, because it's level 3
Okay.
plus 1.
Okay, just 4.
Oh, damn.
All right, 4 successes.
All right. So, yep, you get a solid scan of what's kind of going on here, and you're able to get actually the monitors to now display what what is going on in their mind
Hey,
world
that's what
that
Robert
they're
was
in
trying
right
to do
now.
in the first place.
So wait, so I lean over and like turn a dial and flip a switch, and it just comes up, and we can see them. And I'm like, why didn't you do that earlier? Never mind.
I just love thinking that Malachi's been pacing back and forth, looking at my fucking screen like he knows what it says. Tycho's, why did you just turn it on?
All right, next time we'll leave a little instruction book with pictures.
or just give me like a 30-second rundown.
Or you could say anything about anything. But I mean, once again, you guys weren't necessarily anticipating this to happen.
No, wait, I look over at Malachi and I'm like, they hooked themselves up without telling you anything, didn't they? God damn it.
Not even a 30-second rundown. It's I'm literally I don't even know what lines are what. I'm hoping it goes red when it's bad. Like I don't.
I'm getting ready
here.
to shoot them. That's what I'm here for, man.
I will shoot them to
All right,
keep them alive.
I am going to try another roll to try and talk to them.
Okay, go ahead and do an Arte roll. Difficulty of 3. Just do base. Yeah, you can
All right,
talk to
3
them.
successes. Okay, so I press the button. Phaedra,
Wow.
Ricky, can you hear me?
Oh, hey, Tycho.
What the hell is going on in there? Phaedra's spiking all over the place.
I was just trying to figure that out too. Give me a second.
This book is beyond me.
You okay?
Just give me a second.
You gonna try and read it again?
Oh, Jesus.
Robert, give it a shot. I mean, I didn't actually say that over the comm, but I'm thinking it heavily.
Roll willpower, difficulty 11.
Robert, don't look at this book. But
You know how if you say don't picture an elephant?
Yes. Look at me. Don't look at the book. If I start going weird, pull me away from the book.
You guys heard that, right?
Yeah. Do we have audio?
Yes.
All right.
If this gets bad enough, they might have to pull your headset off, and I don't know what will happen.
We're working on it.
I'm really
in
hoping I
fact-
can get the last of that information from that page that I looked at earlier. If it's still there.
Tell her we won't do it unless it's absolutely necessary. And I do have an idea, but I'm going to need your help, Tycho.
Phaedra, what do you have
I
in
was
entropy?
literally about to ask for your help to do the same thing. But yes, I will help you.
I have nothing in entropy. I swapped it for correspondence.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
you're already
it
pretty
sounds like
shaken
a
up.
bad
Do you want me
idea.
to take a shot at it?
See, my thought process was like, if I go insane, you can pull me back. Robert, if you go insane, it's over.
Well, we make a new Robert, but yes.
From everything
I mean,
I've heard, I wouldn't even know I went insane. I would just wake up tomorrow. Well,
I look
not
over at
me,
Malachi,
but
and I'm like,
me.
where's? I look over
All
at
right,
Malachi, and I'm
Robert,
like,
go
where's
ahead.
that music coming from?
So I attempt to steal myself. And I think and I focus and I try to like meditate on basically like this kind of solution type like what's coming type thing, like future. And then I just like reach down and grab both sides of the book and just grab hold and open my eyes.
All right, make a Arate roll, just straight up Arate. Well, make a perception plus meditation, difficulty of 6. Okay, make a Arate roll, difficulty of or what spheres do you all have again?
I've got 2 entropy, 3 mind, 1 time, 1 matter, 2 correspondence, and 1 life.
And 2 life technically here.
2 life technically.
Okay. And okay, so you got 2 successes altogether on that, so it'll be difficulty of 6. Arate roll.
And I'm going to use a quintessence and a willpower.
Okay. So difficulty 5, you already have 1 success.
Oof.
Wow. All right. So 4 successes. Now I want you to make a willpower roll, difficulty of 6.
This is the one that's just going to fuck me.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. 5 successes.
I've always been bad at willpowers.
5 successes. So you're trying to look for the future, and dig out stuff that might happen inside of the future. So, one of the things that happens to you actually is that you kind of you from your point of view you fall into the book, and you can just see from Amber's point of view, your eyes just kind of go blank and you're just like looking down at the book, but it doesn't look like you're doing anything anymore, and the book is just stopped on one page and it stopped fluttering. But Amber, you can't make out anything that's on the page itself. It just looks like a bunch of moving words and symbols and ancient Latin. And Robert, when you fell inside of the book, you end up like falling down, and you're kind of now in a more kind of ethereal kind of presence where you're kind of like floating in the sky, kind of overlooking everything. And when you look down at a house, you kind of like zoom in on like the person, like your vision and your presence kind of appears to go into the buildings that you kind of look at, and you can go in and kind of see the people, and everybody that you see is having crazy nightmares where you're able to like, go down another level, and you're starting to be able to see the nightmares that everybody is kind of experiencing as you kind of look around, and your mind is just filled with all of this insanity. Make another willpower roll, difficulty of 7. All right, well,
You can buy.
that's good enough. And what you are seeing is everybody is having these terrors and nightmares, and another day goes by, and there's another night of nightmares that everybody is having, and then another night of nightmares that are happening. And you kind of, as you're kind of like trying to find something that is just not nightmares to get stuck into, you look down and you see a newspaper, and it is July of 1999. 1 second here. It is. I'm trying to check if I have a specific date that I can give you. We're just gonna say July 12th right now. I might change that up. I do apologize if that is the case, but I believe it is right around that time. So in July of 2012, or of July of 1999, 12th, there's all these people that are having all of these crazy nightmares. And on the other side of the planet, you kind of like see yourself like lift up out of the atmosphere and come down over into the area of Asia. And when you kind of come down, you see these two great vampire, like humanoid, size kind of things that are just attacking each other. There's a huge storm that's going on above the sky, and there's just this massive battle that's happening between these creatures, and time just kind of goes by where they're, running through houses, throwing each other through houses. It's almost like two Supermans smashing into each other and just, throwing everything that they kind of have. One is like bending all of reality to just rip apart, and cause all of these kind of like permanent illusions that seem to be just, the ground ripping up underneath this guy, or when he runs into a wall, it turns into more of a steel wall. Things get harder. Like everything is just kind of going in this insane battle between these two. And then you see a bunch of nukes exploding across the land. The sky opens up and the vampire just disintegrates underneath the sunlight. And then you feel that as the nukes like envelop you as you're falling into them, you go through and end up inside of the dark world, or inside of the Shadowlands, and kind of fall deeper into Earth. And as you are falling, you see another city below you, and you see an explosion go off of a nuke exploding across this city that you're falling into. And then you appear back into the book. Or out of the book, and you kind of come back to your senses, and your brain is just fried at this point.
One
Okay,
quick
I'm done.
question. Was that where were you when you saw the nukes going off?
On Earth, he would have been in Asia.
I rush over to Robert, drag him away from the book just in case.
Did
Thank you.
we see any of that? Did we see any of that vision on the monitor?
No.
Yes, on the monitors, you would have seen that vision.
So everybody but Phaedra.
Yeah.
Well, Tycho's watching the video. I'm paying attention to the
Oh,
the
okay.
meters. And so I'm sure he like is all holy shit.
Oh, and his vitals are all over the place right now.
And then do they go back to normal when he pops back out?
Yes.
Ish. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm getting real panicked, and then I relax once I see everything kind of start balancing back out.
I'm ready to like get out of here. That was a lot more than I had in mind.
I look over at Kyle. Have you watched everything that's happened in this book?
Oh, and I do apologize. The second vampire was taking on demon forms, like just crazy looking demon-esque kind of like. It was almost like he was a werewolf, but of the demon sort.
What?
I do apologize. That's a pretty important aspect of the thing that was fighting.
We got a shape-shifting demon, were-demon, and a reality-bending Superman.
Possibly a marauder.
Both of them had fangs that they
We
hissed
can
at each
review
other
the
with.
tapes.
Oh, okay.
We can review the tapes later.
Do
You guys should get out of there.
Is
we?
Kyle still around? He's still sitting in the grass?
No, Kyle is not there anymore.
Cool. Shit. Well, let's go.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even think to try it. I tried to pull myself out and take the headset off.
You come out without a problem.
Okay, I do the same. Did you tell me how to get this off?
Wait, you have to tell me the code.
It kind of feels like you're pulling but pushing at the same time.
Okay. I give that a go.
Yeah, you come out without a problem.
I love that long pause of like, nope, you're stuck there now.
Considering my options,
She goes
you know.
unresponsive. What?
Like, I really don't want to do the Inception route where you have to like kill yourself to get out.
Can
So-
we verify that the vampire didn't swap minds with any of our compatriots?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's any problem like that.
And the
Alright, I
vampire is still sleeping.
Yep, his old thing has gone completely dead, and he looks completely dead.
I look
again.
and see that Tycho had the screen up, and I asked if he saw any of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was recording it until I turned the monitor on. I
Well,
got here
when
you guys were.
did you get here?
Just after you guys went and sat down in the grass.
Well,
You missed some fun events before that.
But I think you definitely at least got something there, because I'm still trying to piece together what that was, but I don't think we can let these nukes go off.
I also
Yeah.
took note that they went off on Earth and not on Enoch like they're supposed to.
Well, they went off on a city underneath Earth too.
Yeah, so they're definitely.
It looked like it went on all of the realms or spaces that we know exist, and that's not good.
So it's
And
like,
you get the feeling that when this happened to you at the very end too, it's something that you didn't see or came up on the monitors or anything like this, but you get a feeling like the entire universe kind of fractured at that point. And it was like it was more like the nukes that were happening inside of the Shadowlands. So Enoch getting blown up was happening at the same exact time that this other creature was getting blown up on Earth. And then, from your point of view, you kind of fell into one and then experienced the other, but it was, that these happened at like the same time, and that it was just an earth-shattering explosive reality bomb, basically, that just coincided on causing insane, horrible shit that you just know that everything went wrong at that point.
I feel like now might be as good a time as ever to tell you guys the truth about something, because I don't think I can keep this anymore. I think we've kind of come to an impasse.
I draw my pistol. I'm kidding. Keep going.
What would you like to talk about as I lean over a counter that's got multiple buttons?
How familiar are you with the New World Order?
We raced against them, didn't we?
But the real New World Order.
They're not.
The organization inside the technocracy. I mean, they're just the people, the stuff.
Okay. I work for the New World Order. I'm what you would probably consider a man in gray. I was put in this group to assist Control in making sure that certain events took place, and I've reached a point that I do not feel comfortable following, and I'm not sure how to go forward. But Control is aware that we lied on our last report, and I hope that you all understand why I kept this from you.
I walk over to Robert. And I calmly put my hand on his shoulder.
Oh shit.
Robert,
Phaedra?
I'd like to go sit down over there before I do something that we probably won't like. Just, I'm struggling with the fact that I've trusted you, Robert. And I don't trust most people.
It's worth pointing out that it might be that betrayal that drove him to tell us in the first place, opposed to continuing to. I mean, he took a risk telling us as I had my hand on the pistol on the holster, but it's just let's just rest in there casually.
I would also just like to point out that I literally wear a black suit.
I was going to make a comment, but I felt it was out of place.
So I feel like this isn't entirely my fault.
Did you know any of the guys that we raced against? Sorry, that's a distraction. We need to stay on We need to stay on point here.
Damn it. I understand that there's gonna be some strong feelings about this, and I understand if you guys want me to step away for a little bit so you can have a discussion. But I just I received a message from Control today that they have flagged our group, and I was ready to make what needed to happen, but after seeing that, I don't think I can. I don't think I can be a part of that future.
You have to get on the table.
To happen?
All I know is that those nodes needed to be taken down, no matter what. They don't tell us everything.
Robert.
And I've always trusted Control. I had no reason not to.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to shelve my feelings of betrayal for a second, and I'm going to think of the team. If you trust us still, and you trust me, you're going to lay down on this table.
I slowly put my briefcase down, and I take off my jacket, and I take off my tie, and I place them nicely on the counter, and I lay down on the table.
Okay.
I sneak up behind Phaedra and rehook the trank gun to her belt that I took from her. Just like, click.
Thank you, Malachi. Robert, I have to give you a full body exam. Do you want the other two people to still be in the room?
I mean, I'd prefer no one's in the room.
I have to do the examination, Robert.
You have assistants. Do whatever you need.
What are you looking for?
Bugs.
I can. I don't have correspondence. I got Prime. Might be able to help with that.
Why don't you just ask him first?
He wouldn't know. I wouldn't tell my crew that I'm bugging them. I've got like two staffs.
All I can say is, from all appearances, Control has believed up until this point that while we are reckless, we have been working in the correct direction. This is the first time they've ever indicated any type of suspicion in us or anything like that, but they seem to know that we should have been able to get through those defenses.
I don't care.
And that's fair.
You are a gray suit. I have to make sure that you're still good. Because if they get wind that you've defected, I want to make sure that you're still safe and we are too.
Did you mention Phaedra's apartment to the NWO?
I've been
Do they
particular
know?
in how I portray things to them. I've had suspicions for a while.
Do they know?
It started shortly after I joined with you guys. You kind of have shown me a side of things that I had not seen previously, we'll say.
Well, then also you haven't had really any actual contact.
No,
besides...
there was only the couple small interactions that I kind of suspected they might be checking in on us a few times when some of them showed up, but I haven't been expected to report very regularly. Typically, we're kind of left
just
to
through
work
the
on our own.
reports that that you just normally report, and if there's some code words and stuff like that, but there's nothing that you have thrown out there that is.
No, I've been trying to keep as much as I could to the team because I do appreciate this team, and I didn't want Control to see you guys in a way that they might take out of context or something,
Tycho, is there a way to make a chip that if Robert gets chipped, it immediately
We want to chip you
alerts.
to prevent you from being chipped.
by getting chipped by others? Yes.
Our chip's a good chip.
I mean, we did explore in the past the kind of like we had the mine pattern things,
Mm-hmm.
and we were able to pair them, which I don't think we've done very often. We could take a baseline and just see if, because at this point, like, now that he's seen that and knows that Control is up to that, although does Control want that?
Well, one thing I think we should also check to see is do you guys know what gray suits are? And if you don't, we should maybe do a roll to see if you guys
Can
know.
I do intelligence investigation?
Because it is a little bit odd what's happening here.
Yeah, true.
I'm not sure if everybody's catching on to the concept of what a gray suit is exactly.
I can tell you that I don't know what gray suits are. Malachi might though.
So go ahead and make a intelligence plus technocracy lore, basically, or NWO lore. I mean, there's no reason why you would know exactly about this kind of stuff. With maybe.
Could I say investigation because this is very close to like.
I'll say that you've been able to investigate maybe into the past. We'll do a difficulty 8 investigation. You don't have technocracy lore.
I'm gonna do childhood in the construct.
Yep, that'll work.
My roll was
Kids.
Difficulty of 6 for the childhood.
mine was an 8 at investigation, and I bought.
Oh shit!
Oh.
How bad?
You think you know what I am?
I've
Holy
seen
shit,
MIB.
Tycho!
Yeah, you
You're
bought.
Yeah,
MIB,
apparently.
right?
Okay.
I got 4.
So we'll start with Malachi, and what Malachi thinks the gray suit is. So Malachi, you think that a gray suit just is he's like an alien investigator or something like that. Like he's the NWO's way of investigating grays. And then Phaedra, you know that gray suits are definitely, the men in gray are known as infiltrators and spies. But you really don't really know much more beyond that. And Tycho, you understand though that usually this is a gray suit is used to infiltrate the tradition mages standardly because they have the ability to kind of walk walk the line of techno magic. They're more, usually they're virtual adepts and stuff like that, but sometimes they might even have some abilities that are similar to awakened reality deviants. And normally they're used to infiltrate a group and destabilize it or neutralize it or analyze it. But you know that they're usually not used against the technocrats. However, it's not unheard of for a gray suit to infiltrate another tradition or another
Well,
convention.
It also makes perfect sense in this case.
You guys are a little deviant-y.
That's probably why
Well,
I
yeah,
got put
and
on this team.
Also, it's Control wants those nodes down. They needed to put a team around me. Makes absolute sense. This is who they would have done.
I just love that he's had a gray suit this entire time. He's literally been
Color, thank you. I went with black.
You did
so
go.
I was being subtle.
Well, I would just like to point out that in 1997, the movie Men in Black with Will Smith, that came out, and so yes, they went with gray instead of black. Like, was that movie about you guys?
No,
Like, that's
NWO
me.
has Men in Black. It's just the tier below me.
Is there a tier above you, like in S class?
Yeah, it's white suits.
That's a bit on the nose, isn't it?
Talk to the NWO. I didn't name them.
That is pretty on the nose.
That's racist.
Exactly what I was thinking.
I am gonna write.
Why do white suits at top?
So wait, in earlier in the campaign, when I kept mistaking and saying that you were with the NWO, I was right.
I didn't know it at the time, but which makes all this better. I kind of might have came up with this recently, but yes, you were right.
You got
My
that's why you're the
backstory was
leader.
right.
You got an insight.
So I think
Anyway,
that's a good spot for us to kind of wrap it on up here, and we'll take this, let you guys kind of soak in this revelation of what's happened and what you're gonna want to do next game, because I know that Amber does have to go to work, so that's
Yeah.
important.
I mean, is it?
Chop your ass up.
Yeah, I'm really worried about what this scan is going to entail, just for like a punishment's sake. Like, I'm not going to be gentle.
I mean, for the most part, you haven't really done. I mean, your job was more of a observation of the group, and
Yeah, he hasn't explained that yet.
Yeah, they still are in the very much untrusting all of a sudden phase, I think.
I'm like, how the hell am that? This was supposed to be my new family, and one of my family members just told me that he's a spy. I'm not very happy.
I feel like that's
really
very
cool with all
tropey,
this?
though. It's, of course, there's always the one bad guy that's got to be like, I'm not a bad guy anymore, but I was a bad guy. But I wasn't really a bad guy. I didn't know I was a bad guy. It wasn't my fault.
Zuko, what are you doing here? Get out of here.
Like, what? How do you, like, it's not my fault that they told me, like, I could have had any other mission. But now I'm on your side. Don't you understand? So
Ignorance is bliss, and now I've got all these questions, and yeah,
I actually
I'm suffering too.
It relieves It relieves a bunch of pressure for me because I've been wondering why they haven't been putting more pressure on me to report back on you guys. It's because they already had somebody in the group. They didn't need. I expected there to be like this where I'm going to have to try to balance about. Nope, I was just able to lie straight through and nobody questioned it.
Well, there's your group is specially designed and made set up kind of by control at this point. Is from what you're kind of gathering is that maybe it's possible that all of these encounters that you guys have kind of had have not been coincidental either. You know,
If that's the case, I kind of get why Tycho and Robert are here, and Malachi a little bit as well. The fuck did they pick me?
maybe you're the chaos element that control didn't account for.
Okay.
You're the slap.
I mean, you just basically single-handedly led to me ending up inside of Malkavian's head and realizing that I can't follow control anymore. So
That is true.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Phaedra is the slap that control could not predict.
which is why I laughed so hard earlier when you were mad at control and you turned and slapped me. You said I need to do something to fuck with control, and you turned and slapped me, and I was like, no way.
Does he know?
you were on point there and you didn't even know it.
All right.
I do have to go.
Yep, we'll go ahead and wrap it on up here. Thank you all for watching and have a great night.
Good night, everybody.
That,
Not
Good
Good night,
everybody.
peeps and peepettes.